But are we starting were we feeling a little uncomfortable because now everybody is catching up with the Lions and we haven't really been here as Lions fans to enjoy a team that's been this good and projected to be this good. We're hopeful that this isn't a one and done situation, and I don't think it is. I think they've built this thing to last. They built it the right way through the trenches to start off with an offensive line, and now we're reaping the benefits of this. They got to the NFC Championship game, and they've signed their own free agents long term, so they're trying to keep this window of opportunity to win a Super Bowl open for years. Really like it. But here's another one, another list that I'm curious how you feel about this, because I think this is probably a pretty good predictor of things to come. This is a ranking of NFL teams under 25 talent. This comes to us from ESPN. It says a big part of determining which NFL teams are set up for future success is looking at how much young talent is on each roster. It's important for a couple of reasons. Young players are still developing and could become even better, more productive players as they hit their peak years, and they also come on cheap rookie contracts that help teams stay under the salary cap and give them room to sign older free agents. So you look at this list, and with the talent level on the roster under the age of 25, and you start at the back of the list, and according to this list, the Miami Dolphins have no blue chip players. They have players that just graduated from being 25, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, among others, but they rank at 32. Moving up the list, the Raiders are at 31. The Philadelphia Eagles are at 29. The only blue chip player they say that they have is Jalen Carter. They had recently graduated players, though, Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, among others. Last year's ranking was 13 for Philadelphia. This year they're 29 because, as we said, those players got older than 25. Cleveland is at 28. They have no blue chip players. Last year's ranking was 31, so they've gotten a little bit younger, but not much. Moving down that list, you get to the Minnesota Vikings. The first team from the NFC North shows up at 24. Last year, they were 18. Their blue chip players include Jordan Addison and J.J. McCarthy, but they graduated Justin Jefferson and Kristen Darrisaw. Keep moving up that list. 23. San Francisco 49ers. Last year, they ranked 27th. This year at 23rd. The blue chip player, Brock Purdy. Continue to move up. The Cowboys are at 21. The Steelers are at 20. Moving up that list, the Cincinnati Bengals are at 17. The Buffalo Bills are at 16. Keep going up. Kansas City is at 14, right smack dab in the middle of the league. Last year they were at 9. But they do have a couple of blue chip players, according to this list from ESPN. Trent McDuffie, the corner, and George Karlaftis, the edge rusher. Keep moving up. What's kind of scary about this list is that there are several teams from the NFC North that have yet to be mentioned. Number 12, Kang, Indianapolis at number 12. Last year they were ranked 22nd. This year they're at 12. Their blue chip players, Liatu Latu, the edge rusher, and Anthony Richardson, your quarterback. Move up to number 11. The New York Football Jets are at 11. Last year they were 4th. They got blue chip players in Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Those are two outstanding blue chip players.
Both won Rookie of the Year for offense and defense.
Yeah, those are two great players. That's why they're at 11 on this blue chip list. Number 10 is Seattle. Number 9, the Green Bay Packers. Last year's ranking was 17. This year they're at 9. The blue chip player, they say they have 1, Jaden Reed. Because other players like Jordan Love, Christian Watson, they have graduated from being 25. Number 8, the Rams. Last year, the Rams were 32nd in the league on this list. This year, they are 8th. Blue chip players, Puka Nacua, Steve Avila, the center guard, and Byron Young, the edge rusher.
No Kobe Turner? Is he too old? Was he an older draft pick?
He's not mentioned on this list.
Because they hit on him, too, and he's younger. I don't know if he's 25, though.
Might be 25. And, because I think Kyron Williams, is past that list as well. Number 7, Jacksonville. Number 6, Arizona, moving up from 28 to 6 for Arizona. With a couple of wide receivers there. Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., also the offensive lineman, Paris Johnson. Blue chip players. Number 5, the Chicago Bears. Last year's ranking was number 12. This year they're at 5. The blue chip players, Caleb Williams, the quarterback, Darnell Wright, the tackle, and Rome Odunze, the wide receiver. And they just graduated a couple of players, and then also Justin Fields, who's no longer with the team, obviously. Number 4, Atlanta Falcons. Last year they were 8. They moved up to 4 this year with the addition of Michael Penix. Of course, they still have Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts, that triumvirate of players. That's why people think Atlanta's going to take a big jump this season, because you got that triumvirate of offensive talent to go with a veteran quarterback like Kirk Cousins, and now you've got the rookie first-round pick of Michael Penix, and maybe they're set up for the future. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens are number 3. Last year they were 30th. Now they're 3rd. Kyle Hamilton, Zach Flowers, Tyler Linderbaum, those are the players that are considered blue-chip players. At number 2 on the list, the Detroit Lions. Last year's ranking 3. This year's ranking 2. Blue-chip players, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jahmyr Gibbs. They didn't graduate any players to the 25 and older crowd. So they have 5 blue-chip players, and that's not including players like Jamison Williams or Brian Branch are not on that list. Jack Campbell is not on that list. Terrion Arnold not on that list. Alex Rakestraw not on that list. I think the Lions are poised to be on this list again next year, probably in the top 5. But the number 1 team they have in this list of under 25 talent, the Houston Texans ranked number 1. Last year they ranked number 1. 2 years in a row, the blue chip players, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Darryl Stingley, and they've added some more this year that I think are going to be on this list too. But this is it's an interesting list. And again, it's based on players under 25. What this tells you, if nothing else, from a national perspective, again, it's more praise for the Lions, more praise specifically that should be heaped on Brad Holmes for identifying the talent in the draft, and also for being able to maneuver through the draft and capitalize on the draft capital that he had and that he got. Clearly that trade with sending Matthew Stafford to the Rams pays off in spades with a lot of these players on that list because of that trade. 248-539-9797 is the telephone number, same number to text. When you hear a list like this, and it knocks it down to basically it's young talent on the team, and the Lions are the second most young talent in the National Football League behind only Houston. And by the way, the Lions had 2 more players on the blue chip list than the Houston Texans had. Does that give you even more confidence that this team is poised to take it to another level? We know they got to the NFC Championship game last year. Are they poised to take it above and beyond? Do you feel more confident that is a real possibility?